Hey, aloha. I'm ʻUmi Perkins, or Mark ʻUmi Perkins, and welcome to Political Science 110. I just want to go through the syllabus, make sure everybody knows what they're in for. My office is at Halena'awao 120A. It's right in the front of the campus. The office hours on the syllabus say subject to change, and I think I am going to be changing those from Monday till Tuesdays at the same time. So Tuesdays 4:15 to 5:30, I'm going to change that and repost it. My email is markperk@hawaii.edu. And some of the objectives of the course. Obviously, we're going to be talking about government, branches of government, and so on, but in addition to the chapters in the book, I'm going to be adding just a few very brief readings that are about the political philosophers that we're covering, people like Madison and Karl Marx and Michel Foucault and others. Okay, so that's actually not on the syllabus as of yet, so we can look forward to that, but I want to assure you that they're not going to be overly long readings. I just want to get a little bit into the philosophical aspect. You can read through the student learner outcomes. The textbook, if you haven't gotten the textbook yet, this is it. A Novel Approach to Politics by Douglas Van Bell, and I had sent out a message earlier saying, apologizing for getting that wrong. The book used to be by Van Bell and Mash, and I knew that one of them had dropped out of the third edition. I thought it was Mash who had written it, but it was Van Bell, Douglas Van Bell. Anyway, if you see Mash or Van Bell, know that this is the book I'm talking about. It's the third edition from 2012, I believe. Yes. Okay. Yeah. 2012. Okay, so I'm not going to go over every week, but we're doing a chapter a week. Now, the only change that I might make is to chapter 14, which is in late November. There's a chapter on political culture, which, because Douglas Van Bell is from New Zealand, it's so specific to New Zealand, I might cancel that reading. I do have a PowerPoint, and I'm going to be loading all the PowerPoints soon that sort of replaces that and looks at political culture in Hawaii instead of in New Zealand, which I believe will make more sense. Okay, so just a few just a few points on the course tasks. Basically, our routine will be you read the assigned textbook, and there's also an accompanying PowerPoint lecture. So you're looking at the PowerPoint and you're hearing my voice. That's it. And they range from about as short as 25 minutes to about, I believe one is maybe 50 minutes if you go through it. So read, watch, or go through the PowerPoints, which will be uploaded in Laulima in the modules section. Okay. And for each one of those, for the chapter, for the PowerPoint, you write one paragraph per assigned item. So if it's a chapter and a PowerPoint, then there's one paragraph response to the chapter and one to the PowerPoint. And if there's a short reading on a philosopher, that'll be 3 paragraphs. Okay, so 1 paragraph per item that's assigned. Okay, so the work of the course is fairly basic, fairly standard, I believe, in addition to the weekly responses. And by the way, those are to replace coming to class. So normally you'd come to class and you'd participate in class, whereas because you don't have to take the time to come to class, you're going to be reading and showing me that you actually read, and that is like class participation. And I'm trying to make the course roughly equivalent to if you had taken it in person. Okay, so that's the point of the weekly responses. It's almost like attendance and making sure that you do some work that compensates for the fact that you don't actually have to come to class. Besides those weekly responses, there's a midterm exam and a final exam and a paper. So to me, that's absolutely a standard amount of work. The paper is 8 to 10 pages. Now, somebody had written in a question that asked, are there tests and quizzes? Okay, there are no quizzes. In fact, the responses every week are sort of they sort of accomplish what a quiz would accomplish. They check in that you did the reading. Okay, so there are no quizzes at all. The tests are all written, so it's about a 2-page response to questions, and I give you 2 questions. You pick one to respond to. Okay, so I don't try to lock it into just one thing, and if you don't know it, you fail. I give you a little bit of choice there. Okay, so that's the case with the midterm and the final. And the midterm covers, the first half of what we've done. It is the week of October 7th through the 11th. Usually have them due on the last day of the week. That's a Friday, October 11th in that case. Okay, so 2 pages covering this first week's reading. That is actually on our website. The website's called Perkins PoliSci, and it goes up to chapter 6 in Van Bell. Okay, and then the midterm goes up to chapter probably 12. You'll notice that there's no chapter 13 if you look in the book. You'll see why. We might have a last week there on globalization. I don't know exactly how that's going to look. Okay, so and then the final paper due, it looks like December 6th, the final paper, and then the final exam due on December 12th. So the final paper will be an 8 to 10 page paper, and the final exam will be a 2-page written response to a question again. Okay. I just want to bring up a couple of things that to avoid any problems in the future. There's going to be a lot of correspondence by email. I need you to remember that emails are not texts, so you should not expect an instantaneous response from me. I'm not a person who spends the entire day online. I have a full teaching job, so I'm teaching about 3 hours a day. I have a commute. I have 3 children, so I am checking my email probably 3 times a day, and so probably you can get a response within a few hours. But I've given a lot of thought to this. I can only absolutely guarantee a turnover time, a response to your email of 36 hours, although probably in every case I will respond in less than 24 hours, and often more like 6 to 12 hours. Okay, so I just want to manage your expectations in terms of how quickly I'm getting back to you on email. That's standard for email. In business, a response to email is expected within 24 hours. I'm saying 36 because just in case you write to me right after I just checked my email and I have a crazy day, it might not be even 24 hours, but a day and a half. But most likely it will be more like 6 to 12 hours. I can only guarantee 36 though. And the reason that should not be a problem unless you're in a crisis situation. So avoid getting into a crisis situation. Okay. That's it for now. I have to keep this short because it's on YouTube and there's a limit to what we can do. So look through the additional information at the end, grading, dropping and adding, and please be sure to drop if you aren't able to keep up with the work of the class. I don't like giving out failing grades, but I have no choice if no work comes in. Okay? Other than that, we'll be having a few of these video responses, and I'll be asking for questions from you to incorporate into them. And I hope to actually see you at office hours, see you in person, and I hope we have a very good semester. Okay?